Family radio station in Oyo State. It's time for us to have a conversation this morning centered around young people. And so this is Youth Parliament right here on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. And on Youth Parliament, we have a roundtable discussion about young people discussing issues that affect us, different issues from career to relationships to, just navigating life and its challenges generally. And so it's another Saturday for you to know that you're not alone and we're together in this journey of adulthood. My name is Toluwaleke Alli, the radio princess.
Beans, they cook forever, your own beans go down. If you see person, they come out, rejoice with them. If they ask you what's your no, take no offense. See this life that's on by turn, your time they come because no be only you kill Jesus. We plenty for yeah.
As always, I never do the show alone. So yes, every Saturday I'm not, usually a Liverpool fan, so I never walk alone. Joining me on the show this morning is the beautiful Adiola.
Yeah, good morning, you other people. Good morning, world. My name is Adiola Aduribi.
Okay. Good morning, planets.
Good morning.
Good morning to those in this life and beyond.
That's part of it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because Yoruba will say Omoluabi, so I have to greet everybody together.
So greet those in this life and
exactly.
Beyond.
You get the gist.
Okay. All right. And of course, also is the Odogu of the Youth Parliament table. One and only Corley.
I'm feeling myself.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Tolu, I'm so happy to see you this morning.
Thank you.
I mean, last week when I got the message last week that, that the baby was kicking. So I was like, so soon.
What baby?
Anyways, but actually happy. I'm so happy to see you this morning, and so happy and excited to join the program this morning. And I just hope it's more entertaining because the conversation
is
you are proposing today.
Well, I mean, a lot of times your gender.
Which gender be that?
The male gender.
Okay.
You complain a lot about the fact that there's
like Mother's Day.
more like,
You have Mother's Day like 10 times in a
4
month.
times.
You see that? You see that Mother's Day issue? It tire myself with me.
Why are you tired?
Maybe when I become a mother, I'll be able to relate to
we
it. But
should actually
I
celebrate
don't
our mothers.
understand. It's too much. They are celebrating Mother's Day in India. We'll join them.
I can't
in
believe-
UK, we'll join them. US, we'll join them.
You know,
People should calm down.
all the 365 days in a year to celebrate our mothers.
What now
It's
happened to?
actually not enough.
Okay, so how about the fathers? How many?
You know, I told you last week. I said
so
fathers
so
should,
you
not,
think that
should not be angry.
so
They should
just one day is enough to celebrate our fathers?
And you know,
Do you know
that,
the
even that one day
sacrifices?
we go all out.
You
for
would
them.
know
so that's
someone-
what-
All out.
That should be
You
enough.
would know
It's
someone who is
June.
a daddy's girl. You will know a daddy's girl through this statement.
Exactly.
Show me a daddy girl without saying I'm a daddy girl.
Whatever. But then
She's here right
I
there.
just think that there's a need to beyond just talking about mothers only or celebrating women only. We need to celebrate men as well. Yesterday was International Boy Child Day, and a lot of people did not even know.
I did not even know.
Can you imagine? You see.
So,
In fact, a
Your
lot
gender.
of boys did not know
Your gender.
that they were being celebrated on that
I don't
day.
even blame. I
I
don't
feel
blame
like
you guys.
women actually celebrated the Boy Child's Day yesterday much more than they said.
As-
But
Azana.
the awareness,
Azana.
is
And
not
now,
a lot.
seriously,
How many guys
because
did you
when
give? How many guys did you give a gift yesterday?
Is it about the gift?
How many guys did you
Wait,
wish
is it about the gift?
yesterday?
No, but yes, I wished people.
I mean, I don't get anyone. No. I didn't get any message.
But
I'm very serious.
Posted,
I
I
didn't
wished
get-
every on my
I did not get any direct
I-
message. That,
okay,
happy
you
international.
waiting for direct
Eh,
message.
Compared
direct
to
message,
how the
sha.
other gender, there will be
but
like.
but on International Women's Day, did you send a
you-
message? You say, did you?
Wish
to
her.
my
Who did
mother-
you wish?
To my mother,
Aw.
I did.
Oh, wow.
But you see, you
And
know, you
then that
mentioned.
lady too.
I don't know that one. No. I don't know about that other one, no, but.
Okay.
But then, who even determines these days? That's one question. I'm
Well,
trying to
I
get.
know that the different world organization, the UN, most times, after some meetings and some conferences, these dates are picked to celebrate. So, and then, the theme for this year is actually what got my attention, because it talked about building self-esteem in boys, stand up, be heard, be seen. And, a lot of times we have, our society has so far placed so much priority on the girl child that we are gradually neglecting the boy child.
Yeah.
Because we believe that, they are boys now, they should be fine. A boy is not supposed to cry. A boy is not supposed to let out how he feels. A boy is supposed to
should be
bottle
able
it
to
all
man
in. So, I mean, if you look at the young guys of now, you can already see, you can see it in them, because they tell you, I'm a man. I'm not supposed to tell you what I'm going through. I'm a man. I'm supposed to keep it all to myself. I'm a man. I'm supposed to take whatever decisions, whether good, bad, and whatever comes out of it. So, I feel that even when we talk about, sexual abuse, a lot of times we focus more on the girl child. So gradually, we're just moving away. I'm not saying that the girl child doesn't need attention. Of course, a girl child needs attention.
We should
But
balance this thing.
beyond that, we also need to focus on the boy child as well. So, in various homes, sometimes the boy child's feelings are just, totally just put aside, because they feel that you're not supposed to even have feelings. You are a boy.
Yeah.
So you hear things like,
Feelings
man
are
up,
for
man up, you're a boy.
women.
Suck it in, suck it in.
Yeah.
You're a
Emotions
boy.
are for women,
So-
are for the girls, and
Exactly. So everybody has a right to
so yeah,
emotions.
today is all about your gender.
Yeah, you should be excited,
you happy?
Because if we do not even bring it, you say on International Women's Day, you guys
Ew.
talked on the International Day of the Girl Child. You guys
Is
talked
it
about,
just that?
This is the part where I miss Toluwaleke.
Ah,
This is where I miss him on the program.
that's true.
Yeah, actually, because it would have been much better though. It would have been much better, so that we're just going to focus on you both, and then you'll be able to. Let's see if you can still join us in the course of the show. You should still be able to join us. But anyway, first, let's take a look at the trends for this week. We have quite a number, right? And there's even one that is of huge interest to me. What is it?
Let's hear it. Yes, hear it.
The one about Lagos State Government tenancy and commission agreements, of
As
course.
in, they are still on it, and I'm
Because
like,
at this point, I'm thinking maybe I should just leave Ibadan for you people, since agents in Ibadan are not ready to be nice,
Now Lagos
and
you want
the
go.
Oyo State government is not, putting all of these things in place yet.
Yeah.
The Lagos State government is they are working really hard, to make sure that there are laws to state that no, you as an agent, you cannot snuff life out of a tenant. So yes, the Lagos State
like
government has
tenants' life
insisted on
matters.
10% cap on tenancy agreement commission fees. And, the Lagos State government reiterated that landlords and agents are not allowed to charge more than 10% of the annual rent as a tenancy agreement or commission fees. That if you charge above that, it violates the Lagos State tenancy law. But that's not even all, because there are other ones as well. They also talked about the fact that they introduced monthly and quarterly rent payment options.
okay.
So if you feel that you
At
don't
this
have
point,
money
you
for
don't
1
have it,
year,
yes.
you can pay
monthly.
monthly,
or
you can
quarterly.
pay quarterly.
I saw this particular post, and what actually got me excited about this this move is I've seen, especially here in Ibadan, I've seen some houses. They will tell you. In fact, I've been to one. Sometime last year or so.
Yeah, I think I remember
And-
last year you were.
Yes, when I was in that. So the guys were like, okay, we've already settled. We settled the whole price, and all of a sudden, the owner of the house, or according to the agent, the owner of the house is now insisting for 1.5 year rent.
See, that's another.
Yes.
That's another.
So
one.
I when I saw that, they say it's not allowed for a landlord to request for 2 years or more
Yes.
than 1 year. I was like,
Over
okay.
1 year's rent.
Yeah. I said,
And most times, I mean, if you see all of these houses in Lagos, they tell you must pay for 2 years, you must pay for 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, if I get money for 2 years, pay me might just buy land, start small, even if
You
it's
get.
And do one
Especially
ojule.
in
You're they
Lagos,
say
when
do
the
ojule
rent is
ojule
okay.
kan. Abi ojule meji.
See, people no longer. I've
2
seen
years
houses. I
straight.
remember one time I traveled to that should be Port Harcourt, and there was this house I saw, uncompleted, and this family they moved in. They literally moved in, no windows. They just covered, just
Use
made
wrapper.
one room, at least settled that place. Then, as I said, as time goes on, they will be developing the whole place. And all. Because I mean, if you
That's
consider
just
the
it.
amount of rent
That's just it.
these days, I mean, you see rent of 400,
develop
total
it
package
too.
700. How?
Yeah.
From where now?
My total package 700 is even still
What's
very
the meaning
fair.
of total package? I mean, if I'm collecting your house, am I supposed to pay for our package? What's the meaning of total package?
In her, my take in all of this is that stay in your father's house until you're ready.
I beg rest.
But if your father no can't get a house, I beg go.
Abi?
But see, to be fair on landlords as well, right? It's also not easy, building a place this period, right? Maybe 5 years, 6 years ago, with 8 million, you can actually set up something moderate. But now, by the time you buy cement alone, cement is around 10 something now, and you are using nothing less than 50 bags, right? So do that. Iron rod is so expensive now. So if you're in as much as things are expensive, also agents and
rent
landlords,
too
please pity
gets
us. So
expensive,
because some
that's
of you bent or you want to collect the money using building your house
In
in
just
1
in
year.
In
One
1
year.
year,
Have an
exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. And then sometimes some of those houses are even old already, especially in this Ibadan. They're old houses that
Very
they are
old,
not, they
and
have not
then
even renovated.
You
No
will now hear the
renovations,
price of the this
nothing.
thing and you be like, what's
And
happening?
you just sleep and wake up and add 100,000, 150,000 naira to house rent.
Without any
Finally, they will
renovation.
tell you they are going to renovate it, but
They're not going to do anything.
My God.
Nothing.
it's all
So
right.
most times that's the issue. That's the issue. I like the fact that Lagos State government is really following through on their words. It's not just they've not just been talking about it, and they're actually making laws to back it up. Same for I think River State the last time that we saw as well. So yes, that's a good thing. It's really going to help because they need to understand that as much as things are expensive, owning a house is something that is long term. So your gain from it is long term. You don't have to get it all right now. All right, moving on to other stories. The Code of Conduct Bureau chairman has urged Nigerians to report civil servants living above their means.
Okay.
So the chairman of the Code of Conduct Bureau, CCB, Dr. Abdullahi Bello, has called on Nigerians to report public servants who appear to be living beyond their legitimate income. And he said such reports would prompt investigations and possible prosecution before the Code of Conduct Tribunal, CCT. And he said this on Friday, which was, of course, yesterday. He emphasized that many public servants are often unknown until they assume office, and any sudden display of wealth should raise red flags, which means that you, as a civil servant, you're not supposed to, have some kind of display
Yes.
of wealth. Or I mean,
but-
you as a civil servant, you cannot have money. Is that what
This thing is, what if my husband is an odogu? So I cannot display his own wealth because I am a civil servant.
The question is,
I think in that
before you assume the role of a civil servant, what happened to your husband?
Maybe I just don't want to sit at home. I just
So
want to work.
it's when you started working as a civil servant, you decide to show that your husband is an odogu.
You know,
Odogu Mari. I mean Odogu
But I
Para.
mean, if you have an odogu as an husband, I don't see any reason why you should even work as a civil servant. I mean, you should own your own business. That's another angle.
each man is
Sure,
own.
sure.
I just want to,
Just to
serve
go
my
out.
country. You
But I
get?
feel like it's a good thing though, so that but it's just that I hope that Nigerians will not abuse it
That's the problem with
and go and call somebody who is not,
You see-
because you have a beef with your neighbor now. Your neighbor decided to install solar. I bought generator, I bought your freezer. You know, say civil servant.
This thing doesn't even work because I mean, aside just civil servants, by now civil servants, I'm sure they'll be referring to people who are just starting, those who do not have connections and all. I mean, recently we saw a video of one of the ministers or former governors who appeared to an event in a Porsche car,
Yeah.
his wristwatches and all. By the time you estimate it all, it's so. I mean, people like that.
You know why I like social media these days? Anything you wear, they just want me to tag it and go and bring out the original amount of it.
so things like that now, I don't think it's done. And speaking about the abuse of these things, I mean, there have been cases where now, aside civil servants, now you see people who actually work legitimately, maybe working from home, and you see their neighbors because maybe they turn on the gen regularly. They don't go out and all. You see your neighbors calling police to come and raid your house and all, calling you fraud and all. So this is one side. I feel, in as much as we're having this law, there should be another law, right, where if you make a false alarm, you get fined as well.
With
At least-
Yeah.
Weasel.
Sure you get. So it won't be one-sided because why would you raise an alarm over someone who you are not even sure of?
Yeah, that's better. That would be better. Anyway, moving on to other stories. The House of Representatives proposed a jail term of 100,000 naira fine for Nigerians who abstain from voting.
Hazana.
So the House
Yeah.
of Rep is reviewing a new bill that would make it a crime for eligible Nigerians like you and I to abstain from voting without a valid reason. So under the proposal, defaulters could face up to 6 months in prison or 100,000 naira fine. So, of course, this bill has, triggered intense public debate, as a lot of people are talking about. But my own question about this bill would be, how do you know
Who did not vote?
who did not vote?
My own question about this bill
Okay.
is, in as much as you are trying to protect the law, whereas individuals, that's democracy to vote, you're also violating people's right. Also,
Yeah.
I can
we have
decide
the right
not
to
to.
vote
Right
and
to
not
Yeah,
to
right
vote
to
and
vote.
not to vote,
Exactly.
actually.
So the law is just is twisted, and the question of how do you even know who votes?
And
or who
those,
does not
the
vote?
people that pass the bill too, they'll be like, okay, maybe they are what's it called? They are planning to set up this thing. We've been saying Nigeria is underdeveloped all this while. maybe we are beginning to be developed.
By
Shey you
voting.
get?
By
Like
voting and
they
finding me
will know-
100K.
So at this point, though, maybe there's going to be a machine that will detect people that have their
would
voters
also,
card.
that would also be
But-
violating people's privacy and people's rights at the end of the day. Because
But how about we just have, a means to vote from the corners of your home?
Exactly.
How about we work on, becoming more technologically inclined to be able to just few taps online and you have
And then
voted.
that's
And
all.
you are sure that it is not going to be tampered with.
And the truth about this whole thing, but I don't see people coming out to vote or seeing the importance of voting until the essence of this whole vote is legitimate. It's free of rigging, free of because I mean, look at the last elections.
Yeah.
There have been cries around it and all, yet nothing has been done. So for someone to even come out again,
To vote.
I mean, I need a reason to want to vote because the popular
If you
saying.
know how I put all my soul and body
See that
to
selection.
the last election.
See someone like Adela.
Sorry, eh?
So I mean, I've
Bring
seen
us-
people who will tell you
Tell God you
that. What's
brought
the
out your
essence?
soul of going to
What's the
vote?
essence?
Yeah.
So by the time there is importance and there is legitimacy to the system, I mean, people. You don't need to tell people. You don't even need to find people to come
People
out
will go
and
out
vote because their
willingly
vote
to
is actually
vote,
count.
yes.
Okay. All right. Moving on. So EFCC has admitted error in declaring an innocent man wanted in the CBEX Ponzi case.
We are still on this case. Okay.
Yeah. So EFCC admitted to mistakenly declaring Elibita wanted in connection with the CBEX Solutions Limited Ponzi scheme. And, in a statement that they released earlier in the week, the agency said that Bita's name has been removed from its wanted list following new findings that proved it should not have been listed.
Is that the foreigner?
Yeah, that's the foreigner there. But the Nigerians, so they also listed 8 individuals still wanted. So Sheyoloede, Emmanuel Oko, Adefora Oluwanishola, Adefora Abiodun, Olanipekon, Johnson Okiro, Ofienolu, Israel Mbalika, Joseph Michiro, Kabera, and Sarah Michiro. I think they just added, some names to this list. They added some names to the list. So
My take on this is, if I were to be that man, I'll sue you.
Yeah, because why did you not make
That's
your
one.
findings well?
And this is something I still find very funny. I still find it very annoying because by the time you get into the custody of EFCC, automatically you have to face the what's it called now? They have to take your mock shots and all and post it on their social media platforms without proper investigation. Do you know how damning that can actually be?
Yeah.
to
Right.
your image.
Because I remember there was
Image
this time, I think
reputation,
last year, when there was this raid in, there's a school, is it, you think OEU or...
I can't remember the school, but I know that there was this alarm that students raised that AFCC
Exactly,
came and then
they
they
raided,
raided
and the next day you had to publish all their names.
all their names. I think I remember it also happened in FUNAB as well. Students of FUNAB.
So,
also
so
came
you
out
see
sometime.
situations like that, and now these days, employers, what they'll do is they'll just run your name online, and by the time there's some, there's no, you don't have any explanation. Okay, your name is already there. Your name, you can't even start asking questions. You may even be shortlisted automatically. So things like that, I don't think they are doing it the right way.
Yeah, there should
Right?
be proper
You should
investigation
investigate before you publish
publish
people or before you call
exactly.
people criminal.
And
Right.
now they are saying they mistakenly.
And
what's
now,
that
see,
going
that
to do to
idea
the damage
of
that has been
mistakenly,
done?
it gets me so annoying in Nigeria, especially in institutions owned by government. You see what JAM did recently?
Yeah, we're actually
We are
coming
even
to
I'm coming to
that.
that. Yeah. So there are lots of mistakes in every corner of government institution these
That
days,
could
because
cost.
someone needs to be held accountable until there's
Actually,
accountability.
yeah.
These mistakes would keep going on and on and on.
Okay. All right. So since you have already mentioned about JAM, let's talk about it. Now, following the release of JAM results, there were a lot of, here and there.
That goes back and forth, everything.
And then, JAMB ordered immediate review of the UTME. There's so much complaints about low scores because, according to report, I think 21% got above 200 and 1% got above 300. And, the rest of the people, majority of those that did JAMB, failed. As much as, yes, for me, I feel like it's in two ways, right? I feel like it's in two ways. One way, yes, JAMB is at fault. There are so many glitches that a lot of parents and students had started complaining about from the first day of the exam. And if by the first day of an exam, there are already glitches, nothing would have stopped you from saying, okay, let's put a pause on this. Where are the centers that experience glitches? So then what do we need to do? Maybe then tell those ones to hold on and not do the exam yet and, find a way around it. Something to just help rather than, coming out to say that there won't be any repeat of any exam. Because I remember the JAMB registrar first came out to say there won't be any retake of any exam and all of that. And then the Minister for Education said that the low scores in JAMB was a pointer to the fact that they did their due diligence to ensure that malpractice did not happen. But, following that, there was, a review of it, and the JAMB registrar, tearfully apologized to Nigerians.
That's the most funny part of
God proposes.
The funniest. I don't know.
Man proposes, God disposes.
Yeah.
that statement, it's, I don't know. And
but do men propose?
How?
Yes.
Like, how does that even relate to someone? I'm beginning to
There's
think.
no correlation at all.
But it broke down in tears.
As in, why are you
this
crying?
Is not the first
Why?
time. This is not the first time someone is actually breaking down on live TV.
That's popular meme.
So we've seen countless situations of people coming out, but the only place I have issue is, this thing happened, right? You can't say it just happened on that very day because there were a series of dates for these exams.
Yeah.
Even if it happened the first day, the ideal thing would have been let's cancel this. Let's reschedule.
For these centers, yes.
Right, let's
Address
reschedule.
the
Let's have
issue
them
first.
Now,
have
this
them
thing
take it.
happened. It happened. It took you a week,
True.
to analyze results. You didn't do anything.
Then
You went ahead to release
You
the
released the
results.
results.
You came out again to state that this year recorded the highest number of fail rates, right? In the design, you didn't come out to address the situation until people started calling you out with evidence, and I'm sure, right? Someone must have, reached out to them with proper evidence for them to eventually come out to admit to these mistakes. So this is what we're talking about. This unaccountability in the system. Because if someone was held accountable right from the very first day, do you know how much they pump into this exam for you to come out and say there was a glitch? What kind of glitch actually happened? I'm beginning to think. Right, I'm beginning to think my JAMB result that year, it was not my own. Because I'm to be frank, I'm very serious because the result I was seeing, I'm like,
no, this can't be me.
like, is this me? But then, okay, it happened. At least we shall move on.
Don't do.
And now, this whole
PhD in
situation,
the making.
I beg you, this same situation now. If you remember, sometime last year, there was this girl who came out. There was this case of a girl who came out to, I think she was she said, I can't even remember the story properly, but she scored the highest.
JAMB result.
Yeah, the JAMB came out to discredit
to say that
her
was
JAMB
not,
score and all. So you begin to look at this. If there were these
What
glitches,
exactly is
and
going on?
is it possible that this girl, we might have wrongly accused her? Because I remember that year, Innocent Motors and some other people actually gave her scholarship and all. And at the end of the day, when JAMB came out to discredit her scores, they withdrew everything. There was this public disgrace for this girl. It was a public disgrace, calling someone a fraud at that very young age. And now situations like this are coming out. People begin to, you need to put the doors.
But in the case of the girl, so how did she check the result in first instance and she had that high score, and then
You know,
later on,
she
checked
she
again
stated that she checked the first time, she saw something else. She checked again and she saw
another
something else. So I mean, if there was glitch now, who knows? There could be possibility of that, but we would never know. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We
But
would never
I,
know.
for me now, so they said that affected centers across Lagos and other locations in the southeast would be retaking jam Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is
Today.
which means that they are already in the process of retaking. Now, my question is, how about those centers outside of these two locations, outside of Lagos, outside of the southeast? Because there's no mention of other centers in the other parts of the southwest, the north, and all of that. Because I'm sure that there are people that had the same glitches in some centers here in Ibadan, in some
yes.
centers in Ilorin, in some centers in Kogi, and all of that. So, will they also? I do hope that they are also part of those that will be rescheduled for this exam, so that they don't have to go through it. But the very sad thing is, a teenage girl already took her life over this jam result.
I saw that post. I saw it.
It's so painful, really.
And is very I don't know. It's really painful. She's just 19. She's just 19, and according to family sources, she had taken the UTME last year. She got 190. No, she took the exam last year, and then this year she got 190, and she was so disappointed, and she ended it all.
I saw a post of people saying the girl is not serious, she's not strong, this, that she was too weak and all. But then I went back to similar situations. Most times people are actually different. We come from different background, we come from different family background. We don't know what it took the parents to raise that money for her jam. Writing it the first time, writing it the second time. And you getting that score and going back home, because you always go back home.
Definitely.
So we don't know
Always go
what
back home.
they must have told her at home, right? I remember my first jam, if not for God, Jesus Christ. you get the press.
I was telling somebody, I was telling a girl that is close to me that did jam. She had the same score last year and this year, and when I was when I was talking to her, and then I was just sharing with some people. My first jam, I got 190. My daddy took my result like this and threw it at me.
Wow.
What is this that you're bringing for me? And then it wasn't at 190 couldn't take me into the university.
Yeah.
Of course, it wasn't that I couldn't get into the uni with that result, right? But then at that instance, you only thought of, you're going home to go and show your daddy this result.
How?
Hey.
How do you want to do it?
So it's just
But
sad.
I understand. But the unfortunate thing is, just 30 minutes after she died, she received a provisional admission offer from JAMB to study microbiology, the same course that she applied for.
See, Nigeria, my country.
And it's so painful. Although I mean, maybe it's from the last year admission, because it can't be this year's admission wouldn't be processed this fast.
Yeah, that's from last year.
Yeah, but I feel really sad. But this is to every teenager out there who wrote this year's JAMB. Maybe this is the second time you're writing. Maybe this is the third time. No matter how long it has taken, I would like to appeal to you that, yes, Yorubas will say that akpe koto je, konije baje. I think it's just because of the way this generation is. Not to sound cliche or not to make you feel like you should be unserious. I've had people who are very intelligent, who have had to write JAMB 6-7 times.
Yeah.
And today they are successful, right? So this, having a low score in JAMB is not the end of the world.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that you should end it all there. All right. If you're unable to get into school this year, how about you concentrate on honing your skills? Maybe look for, a particular skill that can pay off in the future for you, rather than spend all of your time on social media or, think about growing your followers on TikTok. How about you put that time into learning great tech skills that would help you in future? I think you should concentrate more on that, because nowadays there are people that did not even that didn't study anything tech related, and that's what they're doing presently. That's what they're
Yes.
making money from.
I mean,
And I feel like that's even the future of the labor markets.
I've not seen the essence of my first degree, my second degree. I've not seen the essence of the school. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to school, right? I'm not saying don't go to school. But at the end of the day, I'm not even doing or even
Using
using the
certificate.
certificate
Because
for
it has more to do with, of course, there's the part that going to school helps you, like shapes you, but then it has more to do with the skills that you acquire as you go along the way, not just the certificate.
Yeah.
Right, it has more to do with the skills that you acquire, and that's the important thing. I'm sure. So
And
acquire
even if your
skills,
result is not working this year, there
That's
is definitely next year.
definitely.
When there is life,
There's hope.
there is hope.
So
And as we are also encouraging the students, this is also a shout out to parents and a call out to parents.
please,
This period it's very crucial for your children, your ward or whatever. It's not their fault. It's not really their fault. Find there are other circumstances that could have, but no one knows, and we cannot tell. Just encourage them. Encourage them at
as
this.
much as possible. All right, and that's what we've spent a lot of time on the trends this morning.
See, guys are
Okay.
not really. You see.
That's actually not it though. It was just because of the kind of trends that we have for today. All right, and that's all on the first segment of the show today. We'll move on to the second segment of the show, where we talk about the challenges of the boy child. Collins here, will bring us in from his own perspective, growing up, and how everything that he had to experience shaped him to the present day. And then we'll just give what some of the key challenges that the boy child faces in the society. It is Youth Parliament on Wells Radio 89.3 FM.
You don't hustle tire. You know they take you holiday. You write application, you go for auditions, but still, you be like saying no they pay. They don't laugh you tired. Some say, share until your mate get the aeroplane. Before you go make calm, you beg God to make calm, but see, everybody getting late. So my brother hustle, so my sister walk. No condition lasts forever, your own turn become. So my brother hustle, so my sister walk. Beans, they cook forever, your own beans go down. If you see person make a more rejoice with them. If they ask you what's your no, take no.
All right, welcome back. It is Youth Parliament on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. And of course, in the studio with me, I still have the Dogu of the Youth Parliament table,
I beg go.
Corlins, and Adiola as well in the studio.
Hello.
So today we're taking a look at the boy child. Yesterday, the 16th of May is the day set aside for the celebration of the boy child. And truthfully, there are lots of challenges that the boy child faces. We already highlighted some of it earlier, because we have this rigid masculinity norms that we feel like this is how it's supposed to be. The male child is supposed to be the provider. The girl child is not even supposed to work at all, and all of that. I have a friend whose dad doesn't believe that girl child should be educated, but he also believes that the boy child you should not even, don't take time in my house, just go out. I had a lecturer in school who said that once his male child is 18, he just sends them out to say, go and hustle for yourself.
Funnily, this particular gender too are having that kind of notion. They're having that kind of mentality. I have a friend then that when he went to school and he was almost at the verge of finishing, he said he does not know what he wants to do with his life because he cannot go back home. Why? Because I'm an adult now and I'm not supposed to go back to my parents' house. Are you kidding me?
So let's have a conversation. Toluwaleke would not still be able to join us, so let's speak to our Odogu Parara. Tell us how. I mean, so for this year, the theme is building self-esteem in boys. Stand up, be heard, be seen. But first, let's talk about the challenges of the boy child. Let's use you now as an example, right? Share with us some of the challenges that you had to go through while you were a boy becoming a man.
A man.
Because now you're a man.
Yes.
I'm no longer a boy. Are you a boy?
I'm still a boy.
So, I mean, different, stereotypes that had to come with that.
Ilongo. But then the major challenge as a guy is generally speaking, is there's this expectation that comes with being a male child. And most of this expectation is societally imposed, whereby the man is supposed to be the provider. Yes, that is it biologically, scientifically, and all. The man is supposed.
All Kali,
So,
whatever.
so there's this expectation that at a particular age, adulthood begins for you. Now, there's this particular age that is given for a woman. Adulthood for a guy can begin at 15, but for a woman, it can begin at 17, 18. So most times I always ask how, but we are the same age. But now the reason is the way the society has placed it, that okay, as a man you should wake up. By waking up, they mean you should be you should begin to act. You get it?
Yeah.
You begin to act like a man. That's a general phrase always given to the male child. That's a general phrase that is always used when you want to put in that mentality of adulthood, of malehood in a boy child. You said you need to start acting like a man. And what that means is you need to grow up. You need to start taking responsibility. And what comes to responsibility is quite a lot. I think we've talked about this, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago here on the show. And now, personally, one of the challenges I faced majorly, mine was actually different. And it's different because I grew up in a house where we're all guys.
Oh.
So it's always different for each family. Every man or every individual has their own story to tell. You know, in a house where you are the only guy, I have a friend who is the only son in that house, and find they're not doing properly well. I mean, he didn't come from with gold spoon.
At least very
Hair.
good.
So
But spoon, Shade.
spoon, there's a spoon.
Even if it's plastic.
So
spoon.
the responsibility of that guy, you can't compare it to me, who has I have 5. We're all 5, and I am not the first. I am not the second. I'm in the middle. So I have 2 other people who take up that responsibility.
So
you
So
yeah, just chilling.
When you were saying it, I was
Seriously.
looking at, okay, can I really? But obviously, yes. That's why I started with the whole general this thing. But now, for someone who, as a boy, you grew up in a house full of chaos.
I think
I can
Adiola will be able
relate.
to speak on that.
So
I can't speak
can
on that
relate.
as well, because eventually my parents they did not even look for boy child. So we have 4 girls with no brothers.
I
So
can,
yeah,
I can relate
but Adiola
so
can relate because
well.
eventually they had the boy.
Yes.
So
My
let's
mom was
when
looking for a
Collins
boy then,
when
and she
Collins is done,
eventually
then
had
I'll
it.
get your own take on that.
You know, we grew up in this society then, or maybe where I'm coming from, my tribe and all, where a man, you know, you're always looking for a male child, and usually you're looking for a male child because you want him to inherit, you know, or to continue from where you stopped. But these days, those doesn't count. Those doesn't even matter anymore. In fact, people are actually looking for girls now, right? So, you know, you mentioned something about you have to leave your parents' house and go out and all. Yes, that counts. That is one of the responsibility placed upon a male child, a boy child, because boys now begin to act like men. They act like fathers. They act
From a
like
small age.
right from a very tender
Yeah.
age. You see, you go out. Okay, this doesn't even count because these days you see women also acting as men. And, you know, that's why I said depends on
Especially the first
child.
child, exactly.
I mean, I can't even. Now I think it's even harder for the first daughters now, because I have like 3 different cases of
take
female
the
friends.
responsibility of a mother right from a very,
So
very
now
young
this whole
age.
idea of man of male, this thing,
man
I
of
think
the house.
man of the house. I don't think it really counts anymore. I mean, everybody. For me personally, now I just believe you're on your own.
Oh, yeah.
That's the idea. For me, you're on your own. If you like, make it. If you like, don't make it. It's before where they used to say every household must have the first son. Someone made that statement sometime that in a household, it's always hard for the first son to break poverty and all. Blah, blah. But if you don't want to break it, don't break it. But for me, I'm not.
Now you.
So you get now this whole male mentality. I don't stand by it. I mean, you're on your own. It's individual responsibility. If you want to make it, go out and make it. If school is your this thing, go out and go to school on your own. Don't say because of you are the first son, you have to go back, or you have to go and hustle for your younger ones to go
Yeah,
to
most
school.
times I think I see a lot of that. You know, the male child will say that I had to, you know, look for means to make money so that my younger ones could go to school.
Yeah.
I think I have a friend who also had to go through that as well. A couple of friends, so if not just one, who, as the male child, had to step aside because it is believed that you're supposed to learn to provide for your younger ones, regardless of how old you are. I mean, I just gave an example of my lecturer that said once his male child is 18, you have no business in his house anymore.
Yeah.
Now think about it. An 18-year-old is still in uni. Let's just now say, okay, maybe at the time that JAMB had not, at the time that the federal government has not talked about the fact that the minimum age for getting into uni is 16. At that time, maybe an 18-year-old could already be out of school, right? But now, it means that an 18-year-old is probably going to be in 200 level.
Yeah.
And you expect that child to be out and fend for himself and probably, you know, be able to come back home to say, mommy take, daddy take at that age.
And you'll be
How
able
do
to
you expect
receive
it?
that kind of.
So let me come to Diola. You have a boy child close to you. What are, you know, the challenges, or how has it been like having, you know, your brother being the only one, Miss Girls? You know, some I have a boy child very close to me who is the only son, and the way he's pampered. the way is literally pampered. It's pampered so much that if he's at home like this, he just stretches and they'll tell him, yeah, go and bring water for your elder brother. Go and do this one.
Bring this
Go and in fact, grandma see the pan yam for him.
Okay.
So you know that it's like that in some the boy child is not open to doing chores, but then the boy child is expected to do all of the hard work in the house. So how is it for you?
Seriously, it has not been easy because I have 2 brothers and they're the last 2. So we are 4 girls, 2 boys. So they feel like we have a group, like the girls have a group. No, we are not doing that in this house, please. If you want to speak, can speak to us. We are readily available. We are all ears to listen.
Are you sure that you are readily available?
Seriously, we are readily available.
By the time he builds you.
To hear what I know, don't worry. What was it? That's it at this point. Because I feel like when you start saying, "Oh, you're a boy, you're a male, you're a man, you should do this yourself, you should do that yourself," the person begins to what's the word now? Segregate himself. He will not want to speak out. He will not. Sorry, the first one is in school now. The last one just wrote jump.
Okay.
The first one that is in school, if he calls this week that he wants to come home, we will make sure he comes home. We will find that money for transport. We will make sure he comes home. Because we don't know what he's facing and why he wants to come home. But you will never hear us say, Joko, see school, if you want to come home, please come home. Please.
Yeah, a boy child.
And so whatever it is that you are going through, whatever it is that you are facing, you can speak to us, you can talk to us. So I feel like that's how we've handled it from the very beginning. So I'm a fan of. I have see my shoulder. Don't look at
see my shoulder.
You can
make you rest up on
please. You can lean on it. I'm a fan of listening to people. Yeah. So if you want to cry, please come. So it has always been like that, and I feel like that's nice. How we should.
Yeah, that's how it should. That's how it should be. But
yes, allow them to express their emotions. Allow them to let them know that it's okay to sometimes cry. It's okay to not have it all figured out.
You know that there's this statement also most people use, which is also very demeaning to the boy child. We make them act like a man. He says, "Stop acting like a woman."
Exactly.
You know, that statement
so
is
I was a woman
supposed to act.
I don't understand.
So because I'm crying makes me a woman.
Yeah. Or because I get emotional, it makes me a woman.
I think we should allow
so
people
now
these
start
days
bottling up their feelings and it's not supposed to be.
That's the important thing. You know, a lot of times we tend to you hear things like the sayings of Yoruba self has a lot because you say Ibilile Lambo.
See, I used to say it. There are some Yoruba proverbs that needs to be changed.
That we need to look into.
Exactly.
But yes, I mean, there are different challenges that we've already highlighted. Part of it is poverty, you know, sometimes, you know, lack of educational opportunities because they believe that the boy is supposed to provide. So regardless of anything, you just have to, you know, be out there. And then there's the rigid masculinity. Men are supposed to suppress emotions. Yeah. Boys are supposed to not be involved in activities that are feminine. You know. And then there's also the part of violence because the boy child is the one that is always beaten the most. And then, you know, basically, our time is fast spent. All right. So basically, this is just a call to the boy child and to the men out there. It's okay for you to be emotional. It's okay for you to express your emotions and express yourself. You don't have to always hold it all in. I understand that, you know, sometimes they believe that talking to somebody makes you weak. Talking to someone does not make you weak.
At all.
Speaking out your mind is not a sign of weakness. Just be sure that the person you are talking to is somebody that has better understanding, that has a good head on the neck. That's the most important thing. All right, thank you so much, guys, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, until next Saturday when we meet again on Youth Parliament at exactly 11 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your day.
For that.